Geek Out! Hey, and welcome to another installment of From Geek Out with Love. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
I'm Rich.
I'm Garrett.
And this week, we're talking about 1971's Diamonds Are Forever. Hoo boy. I think it's been kind of like on this program, one of the recurring things is how it's like, this is far and away the worst Bond film starring Sean Connery. Here's a question. I don't think this, but do you think that Diamonds Are Forever is worse than Never Say Never Again?
That's tough. Because
I
go ahead, because I have to think about this.
I don't know that it's like worse or better, but I think like, and the core of this movie is that this was a movie that was made before its time, because this is a Roger Moore movie that happens to be starring Sean Connery.
Yeah, and we see what happens when that happens. Spectre.
When Roger Moore is starring in a Roger Moore movie, it's campy, it's crazy, and it's awesome. But when Sean Connery is doing it, well, I mean, he just does not fit the moon buggy.
Well, also, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back with this movie. Like, you know, they bring in an overweight, uninterested Sean Connery. Like I've said before, the fact that he gives it to charity, his salary is the best thing to come out of this movie. I've only seen Never Say Never Again once, and I remember as a kid I was such a Sean Connery fan, and I mean I still am, but I was like, a Sean Connery movie I haven't seen, a James Bond movie, and I had and Kim Basinger, Batman '89. And so I remember more recently I had watched Diamonds Are Forever, and I was like, this movie sucks. And again, it's just like you're saying, like it is Roger Moore-esque with Sean Connery. And that when you mix the Bond formula with another actor, it's a recipe for disaster. I don't think this movie is like...
Originally, it wasn't supposed to be a Sean Connery film at all, right? So originally they were approaching like George Lazenby, and he's like, "I'm done with Bond. Bond won't, Bond was a product of the '60s, which, as history shows, doesn't work out for him, but works fine for the franchise." Then they're like, "Well, let's get this guy John Gavin," and he's like, "All right," and they actually like sign him and do some like the screen test and everything, and then the studio, it was the United Artists, because the producers Broccoli and Saltzman ended their relationship with Connery very acrimoniously after You Only Live Twice, and so they don't want anything. They don't want to bring him back. But the studio, United Artists, is like, I don't know why you would just, if you offered him an absurd amount of money, you would still more than make up for it with like box office receipts. And they're like, fine. And so they offered him like 1.5 million pounds, which in in 2015 dollars is like $15 million, which at that time was unheard of for an actor to receive. And yeah, like Jake was saying, he gives it all to charity. And so he comes back, clearly not, he still doesn't get along with the producers, and he just doesn't give, he comes, like Jake was saying, he's like in the worst shape of like,
he looks like
all of the 70s and 80s.
He looks like gaunt, man. He just looks like, I was flipping through just, like looking through the posters and stuff before we started, just to, remind myself of what, some of the, because it, 99.9% of the time, the posters are pretty fucking sweet. As much as I love Dalton, his are the weakest. But there's a picture of him in black and white, and he looks like he's just dead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sean Connery may look better today.
Yeah, I made that joke before we started. Yeah, I mean, like he really does. He looks just fucking miserable.
John Mason in The Rock would kick this James Bond's ass.
That's true.
Certainly, like
Henry Jones Sr. would kick his ass.
You call
in
this
his bucket hat.
Yeah, with his bucket hat and his fucking vase.
Remember Charlemagne.
Yeah, like the Russia House, Sean Connery would kick the shit. I mean, it's already a foregone conclusion that Alan Quartermain from The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen could like fucking trounce this guy.
Yeah.
But the Russia
Let's not
House,
even talk about Zardoz.
he's in much better shape in Zardoz. Like he's actually kind of like ripped in Zardoz.
Actually, serious question, Jake.
Yeah.
Diamonds Are Forever or Zardoz?
I've never seen Zardoz. I've just seen the pictures, and I don't want to see Zardoz. But so I'll say Zardoz. I'm picking Zardoz over Diamonds Are Forever.
Is Zardoz the movie where Connery's in like the really
red
weird?
Yeah.
The knee-high boots and the Speedo and the shoulder length.
Yeah, that's the one.
The Speedo with the suspenders, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucking hanging in there. It's just there, man.
Later in the movie, he hides by wearing a wedding dress.
Better.
To be fair, he does have the hair for it in that movie.
Yeah.
Very Rapunzel, yeah, totally. Garrett, before we really got started, you were saying there was something about the opening that like fucks you over on this one.
Well, no, it's just like there's a couple of scenes in this movie that are like more or less tolerable, but it takes you a solid like third of the movie to get to any of them. Like it opens up with him just like hunting down like a bunch of people where he's like it's a clone factory for Blofeld. Like it's like something that you would expect to see in like Despicable Me, not like it's the same plot from what's the terrible Brosnan film that has the same plot point that I never remember because it's so bad.
Is it Die Another Day where they like all clone themselves or like re-image themselves to be white?
Yeah, pretty much.
Shit,
but
that's right.
This is like kind of different where like he's like creating
Diamond
a whole bunch of different Blofeld, so he just starts killing a bunch of them, and then after that you've got those two friggin'
Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd.
God.
They suck.
God, it's like Luthor and fucking
Otis?
Otis. They just annoy the shit out of me. Mr. Wint
And Mr. Kidd.
and Mr. Kidd.
Mr. Luthor.
Yeah.
Otisburg.
Otisburg. This is a nice place. This is a nice place with Luthor. He's fucking like crying on his knees, wiping off with Windex, like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. And they leave him in jail.
Which is fine because fuck Otis.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to show up in New 52 as some mutated jail monster that...
Dude, Otis shows up in Forever Evil.
Does he?
He gets killed by Bizarro.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Sorry, Jeff Johns, I did not read that book.
But yeah, so after, is it, okay, anything else? You mentioned Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd.
I mean, I don't know. It's a film that like, it's kind of watchable, especially like if you catch it on the marathons that they do every once in a while. But there's just so many points when you can jump in and just be like, nope, and turn it right off again. I mean, and just I don't know. It's also because I think this is this the first space laser or the second space laser?
It's technically the first space laser, right? Because You Only Live Twice is just a spaceship that swallows other spaceships.
Yeah. So this is the first of 7 or 8 space lasers that we get over the course of the series, and it's arguably one of the like the worst executed of them. I mean, although when you're going to do that many space lasers, I guess you're finally going to get the plot right at one point.
Doesn't your favorite Bond film involve a space laser?
My favorite. It involves many space lasers.
It is a space laser.
There's a ton of space lasers. Let's be real.
It's just lasers flying through space and men having to be hit by those lasers by going pew pew pew. It
is cinematic. It is a cinematic masterwork.
It is. Well, I will say, as a bit of a tease, my maybe one of my favorite Roger Moore moments of all fucking time is in that movie, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, there's so many great moments in that one. Where in this one, like you said before, I mean, Connery's phoning it in.
Yeah.
You have Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
The whole plot coming together with the main villain, who then turns out to be the guy that he didn't actually kill at the beginning of the movie, and it's like, oh,
the worst Blofeld.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, after this movie, the beginning of the next one is, a mercy killing for the character.
Uh-huh. I think overall, I've been trying to, really pinpoint why this is my least favorite Bond movie. And I think at the end of the day, there are goofy moments. There are moments that are watchable, and there are, dare I say, an iconic shot or two, like Moon Buggy and stuff. That they would throw in a Bond compilation, and Plenty O'Toole and all that kind of stuff. but it's just like boring. And also, like I said, bringing Connery back, as great as Connery was for the character, it was just such a huge total misstep and a waste of a Bond movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things from my perspective is that, like, the only two people who seem like they're actually having fun with this movie, like the only two actors in there who seem to be enjoying what they're doing, are Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. Everybody else just seems like they're kind of,
It's sad but true. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So yeah. I'm here.
They have they have a very showy role. What do you blokes think about the theme song?
It's fine. I like that revelation while I was doing research that when John Barry wrote the lyrics and was introducing the Shirley Bassey, it was just like, diamonds are a metaphor for penis. And that's all she needed. Penises. Yeah, think of penises.
Penises are forever, forever.
They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me.
Oh, shit.
They won't leave in the night.
Randy Newman was singing that, we'd all be having nightmares.
Penises are forever. Penises are forever. Hang on. Because I can't remember the lyrics off the top of my head. I want to at least get, like...
more than just the chorus?
Yeah. Because I do like the song, to be honest.
It's a fine song.
I actually do like the song.
The song's good. I wasn't a big fan of the credit scenes, though.
Oh,
just that fucking cat walking around, and then a couple shots of, like, diamond necklaces, diamond earrings, and diamond rings.
Yeah, just to drive that point home a little further. They're still...
Oh, shit. Now that I read about this being a penis, Jesus Christ. Okay, hang on. Penises are forever. They're all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. They won't... This is a weird line. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Bum-bum-bum. Penises are forever. Hold one up and then caress it. Touch it, stroke it, and undress it. I can see every part. Nothing hides in the heart. To hurt me? Jesus. I don't need love. For what good will love do me? Penises never lie to me. Oh, shit. Oh, hang on. Unlike... I'm just obviously replacing diamonds with penises, but...
Valley of the Penises.
Hang on, I'm just going to finish it here. We're almost done. Penises never lie to me. I can't even do it as our boy Newman. For when love's gone...
They last so long.
Penises are forever. Sparkling around my little finger. Good. Unlike men, the penises linger. How does that work? Men are mere mortals who are not worth going to your grave for. I don't need love. For what good will love do me? Penises never lie to me. For when love's gone, penises are forever. 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 Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That changes that. I mean, it should have been obvious, but...
Touch it, stroke it, and undress it.
Penises are forever. And hey, if there's anything we can learn from this episode, penises will never lie to me.
The ultimate...
just the ultimate.
I remember when we watched this scene in college, Garrett, you said Benny Hill's yakety sax to the moon buggy fight or chase.
Yeah. It
fits.
It fits perfectly. If you're listening to this, this is your homework assignment. Pause this right now. We'll wait. We'll be here. Go find the moon buggy scene and queue up yakety sax on YouTube and just experience it. It's a life-affirming experience. It's something that you should definitely do before you die.
It's the ray of sunshine in the shit show. Now
it is kind of because again I feel like this is kind of a Roger Moore film before Roger Moore, and that scene right there is it's one of the scenes that on my recollection a lot of the contemporary critics and stuff hated this movie for that and for some of the similar things that were there. but it is kind of foreshadowing what's to come, and it's a taste of the truly amazing things we'll see here in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Now,
penises luster on.
I think one of the other things about this movie that is annoying looking back on it now, they tried really fucking hard to basically remake Goldfinger. Like, didn't they originally want to have the villain be our Goldfinger's twin brother?
Yeah.
And
they brought back Guy Hamilton.
That got actually, it's the same director, same singer.
Yeah.
Shoot the fucker in America, like with Vegas being the backdrop. And part of this, I guess, is because On Her Majesty's Secret Service performed so poorly in America.
Yeah. It did well in foreign markets, but not well in North America.
Yeah. I mean, this is a movie that it's just bland, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the pre-credits sequence, you've got this faceless figure knocking people out for the better part of the first, 90 seconds, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Rips off some girl's bra and chokes her with it. Then you cut to the music, and I mean, I guess this is what you kind of expect when you sink 25% of your budget into one actor's fucking salary.
Yeah, it's just bland Bond is bad Bond, and this movie, like we all kind of have discussed in our own kind of way how it affected us, is it's just a kind of a half-hearted cash in.
What do you think of Willard White?
Mm-hmm. What do I think
as
of Willard White?
As a plot point, or as
either, because he was kind of like the inspiration for the film itself, because apparently Albert Broccoli was friends with Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes goes off the reservation and lives in seclusion for the remainder of his years, and Broccoli was like, what if he was replaced by somebody? And that's where the idea of Willard White being replaced by this reclusive millionaire being replaced by Blofeld came up. Not to mention he's played by Jimmy Dean of Sausage fame,
Yes.
and the guy that voiced the Mr. DNA in Jurassic Park.
Dino DNA. I don't give a shit about it. That's my official thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes fascinates me, but I don't care about Willard White. What do you think about Willard White, Sam?
More importantly,
yeah.
What do you think about Bambi and Thumper?
They're there.
Yeah.
They're just there for an action set piece. They exist.
Yeah.
They don't even succeed at killing unathletic Sean Connery.
Unathletic is a nice way of putting it.
Does their set piece even get any music or anything?
Yeah, when they start to drown him, all of a sudden that's when the music cues. They're like, "Oh, they're playing this for real," instead of just knocking him into random silver cylindrical tubes in the house. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bond girls in this film.
Yeah,
Plenty O'Toole.
No, they're forgettable.
Yeah. Jill St. John and Lana Wood, who both apparently hooked up with Sean Connery on the set of this thing.
Tiffany Case,
yeah.
Case,
and Plenty O'Toole.
Plenty O'Toole. I mean, Jesus. I'm Plenty. Of course you are. What about the elevator fight?
Oh, the Peter Franks challenge.
Yeah.
It's.
When I was
you know what's so dumb about the Peter Franks challenge? So these two dudes enter the elevator, fight to the death, and the one who wins gets to be Peter Franks. That's why I call it the Peter Franks challenge. Mm-hmm. And the music kicks in there when Sean Connery is almost going to get his head hit by a slow moving elevator into a beam. And then it's dun 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 da da da, and it's just oh. Okay.
That was what I think. That was when I was rewatching it years ago. I was like, I think I don't like this movie at all.
Now, Rich, what's ultimately your stance on it? Because we've kind of been over all of our stances on it.
I just find it to be pretty boring. I mean, it's bland. not to be repetitive. You know, the best thing about this movie is, aside from the scholarship, is probably the song, because you got to have Shirley Bassey singing a pretty cool song, and then it was repurposed for the Diamonds Are Forever Kanye West song, and then remixed for the Diamonds Are Forever remix with Jay-Z on it. So we had that going for us, which was nice. I don't know. I just, like, from a continuity standpoint, which, you know, I get it. I accept 50 years. There's been very limited continuity in these stories. I understand that. I appreciate that. We just spent 2 hours, like if you're watching these in succession, you know, 2.5 hours watching Lazenby and Telly Savalas go after it, where the movie's ending on like this huge emotional cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then we're treated to the first 3.5 minutes of Connery doing what he did, and then there's not really any connection to it, you know, to Tracy's death or anything throughout the whole movie.
That's a good point.
Even though they originally intended it to be like a pure revenge flick, they like kind of tried to get away with it in the first 5 minutes, and that in the pre credit sequence. I mean, it just, I don't know, it feels like a real cheap movie for the audience. Connery, I don't know if we've ever seen anybody play Bond be more disinterested in a movie, in any of the movies.
Yeah.
You know, and that's even for, like, you know, I'm not the biggest Roger Moore fan. I would never say that he never was excited to play the role. Like, he did look tired in View to a Kill, but he was damn near 60 in that movie. You know? I mean, this is one of those movies that probably just should not have been made with Connery, and probably, should not have been made at that time.
Though, to the producer's credit, this enormous success of Diamonds Are Forever, basically, because it is like, it's the most successful Bond film since, like, Thunderball.
Yeah.
Certainly more than On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That basically informs Bond for the rest of the 70s, if not the entirety of the Roger Moore era.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rich does make a good point, though. Like, imagine seeing On Her Majesty's Secret Service, that ending, and then going to see this. I mean, imagine they pulled that shit nowadays. Yeah. You kidding me? I mean, like, that's got to be... I mean, granted, I'm sure having... You know, obviously the big thing is having Connery back, but, yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. And, you know, it is. It's just, I don't know. It's not that fun to watch. You know, it's moments few and far between. And
this is
buggy aside.
This is one of those Bond movies where if I catch it on like AMC or Sci-Fi or whatever during the marathons, and it goes to commercial, I flip off and I never flip back. This is Diamonds Are Forever. This is nice. This is cool. There's 10 minutes, and then I flip to something else and I forget that I was watching it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of the Shirley Bassey scene, and I guess Garrett with the lunar landing, what are there other scenes where you're like, oh, that was nice? For me, it's the car chase.
The credits.
Exactly. I like the car chase through the streets of Las Vegas. I think that's pretty
cool.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, car chases are
again, because you know the stuff that's watchable, or the stuff that's like that stands out from the rest of the movie, though, is stuff where there's not an opportunity for anybody's disinterest in the film to really ruin it. Like you're not watching the actors when you're having the car chase through Las Vegas. You know, and I guess, you know, the more I think about it, the more this may be like, if not to my mind, the worst executed Bond film, it's definitely to me the most offensive. Just because of how, again, nobody cares. None of the people involved seem to care, so why should I?
Oh, fuck. You know what I just remembered? Like, you know what you're in for in the first scene of the movie when the guy's trying to say Cairo and he doesn't say anything and it gets completely dubbed over it. You know what you're in for at that point.
That's the warning sign.
You couldn't even afford a guy to be able to pronounce the damn word.
Get the reshoot with decent looking ADR.
Duh.
Cairo.
Yeah.
My God. Then what's the? I mean, so if that's the best, because it isn't Connery, and it isn't the.
It's when Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd die.
Gets like
one of them's like on fire.
Yes.
And another one explodes.
Yeah, after getting his like nuts crushed.
He's like, ah.
The dialogue was pretty cheesy throughout this movie too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go to hell, Blowfield. Welcome to hell, Blowfield.
Remember there's a scene where like they go to the circus and an African American woman gets turned into a gorilla? Remember that shit?
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. Watch
Man.
the film. What the fuck am I working with here?
Oh god.
You know, foreshadowing of
The
Live
next
and
film.
Let Die, I guess.
Yeah, this is when Living Let Die is when Bond gets racist.
Yeah. Hard fucking turn.
I'm trying to think. What else?
I always felt gypped with the cremation scene because I always wanted Bond to figure his own way out.
Yeah.
He does not. They're just like, oh, you didn't give us real diamonds. You're free to go.
But yeah. I guess I'm a fan of Felix Leiter.
Yeah.
He's in it.
The oil rig.
Oil can.
Remember like when Sean Connery says bitch? I'm gonna
Yeah.
Just grasping at straws. Remember that one line?
It's just the delivery of that just it's not even like gruff, it's just bitch.
Shit.
But I mean, more to your point about the different aspects of the different Bond movies and how this would have been good for more. Like, part of what I remember so much about, and I've said this in previous podcasts, Connery went to the coolest places all the time. Like, the most exotic places.
Yes. Absolutely.
Las Vegas isn't exactly exotic.
There was twofold reason. One, the budget. Two, the cast and crew just wanted to hang out in Vegas. It was almost like a paid vacation for them. Like apparently Connery would like be up until like he would play golf all day and then like hit the slots at night. And he was actually late for filming one day because he actually got cashed out on slots. Mm-hmm.
Again, nothing of this is being set up to be a good movie. It's set up for vacation. It's set up for more money. It's set up for bringing Connery back to, make more money.
It's set up for this. It usually works better when I have it queued up.
Bitch.
Bitch. That's good, man.
What's the single worst thing for you in this entire movie?
I've said it multiple times.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not saying it again.
The villains for me.
Yeah. The worst Blofeld.
When you look at it as a standalone, the villains, if you're somebody that would have spent 2 hours seeing On Her Majesty's Secret Service and then walking in the theater to see this, the whole fucking movie.
Also, though, it is sad, too, to see, we all love Connery, and to see Connery just be not even trying. That pisses me off.
I mean, yeah, he's, clearly he's in better shape than Zardoz, which comes out, 2 years later.
He's in better shape than Never Say Never Again.
Which comes out, 12 years later.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be, middle-aged in that film. Because he is, but to his own credit.
He's in better age in Finding Forrester.
You're the man now, dog!
Punch the keys, for God's sakes. The finale on the oil rig was originally supposed to be CIA frogmen planting explosives and then just having a fucking hee-haw. But because they didn't have the budget, they just have shitty images of helicopters shooting at nothing. And when dudes get shot in that film. They do that thing where they like they wiggle their bodies, but it's like the most unenthusiastic body wiggle.
The worst body wiggle, though, I will say, is in Halloween. Remember in the end of Halloween where Loomis shoots Michael? He's like, Michael! And he shoots him and he goes, he has his hands up and he goes, huh? like left, right, left, right, left, right, and then falls over the thing. Watch that shit because I know it's an audio podcast. But that's one of the worst I've been shot moments in movie history. But yeah, the wiggle.
The wiggle. It's not great.
Nope.
It's not great. Garrett, what would you say? Would you say it's Mr. Winton, Mr. Kidd, or Connery or something?
I mean, I'd say probably, just like Connery's phoning it in. Because at the very least, Mr. Winton, Mr. Kidd, while they're ridiculous and, kind of out of place, like, I can imagine a film in which Mr. Winton, Mr. Kidd are very entertaining. It's not this one.
No.
But, like, I can imagine the right film, those characters are really cool. But, we know for a fact that James Bond is pretty awesome, but in this movie, he just kind of isn't, and there's no real good reason for it.
Yeah. Mr. Kidd.
Do you know they offered Connery to come back for Live and Let Die? They offered him $3 million. They would have doubled his salary.
I'm glad he didn't. It's over. It was over.
Yeah.
It was over, man.
He was done.
Yeah.
The search resumed.
Game over, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Aliens. Of course I would rather watch
Fuck
Aliens.
yeah.
Why is that even a question?
I'd rather watch Lawrence of Arabia.
This is Spectre until 2015, right?
This is the last. Yeah. I mean, there is the one-off unnamed Blofeld appearance in For Your Eyes Only.
And isn't it funny that the next time we get a Spectre-related thing is another James Bond movie that should have been made with Roger Moore?
Yeah. I was thinking that earlier when you said that about this movie.
Yeah, they didn't learn shit.
Shit.
They didn't learn anything.
Well, because they made their money. That's why they offered Connery to, made the offer for him to come back.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't have a problem with the director because Guy Hamilton directs the next two Bond movies.
Well, no, he's I think overall a great Bond director, but just not this one. No. My thing is, most people I talk to when we talk about Bond, they talk about like Man with the Golden Gun being Moore's worst. Just as a tease, as we are about to dive into the Moore era, how do you think Diamonds Are Forever stacks up as Connery's seen worst movie to Roger Moore's seen worst movie?
I would watch the weaker Moore films over Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting.
Processing.
I'm processing right now because I'm trying to figure out.
You know why I like Man with the Golden Gun more? Because there's a fight scene in it where someone gets hit into a mirror, and the mirror fucking flips back and reveals the entire camera crew in the shot.
There's also a fight scene where, for some defensive technique I never learned.
Oh yeah,
Roger Moore full ass grabs a sumo wrestler.
He also has 3 nipples. Actually, this movie's fucking awesome. I do like the final showdown, the duel in the end of Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah,
I've always liked that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And the other thing is just from like. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, at the very least, the Man with the Golden Gun gave us the Golden Gun in GoldenEye. Yeah. Where what the hell do we get out of Diamonds Are Forever other than a lasting impression of pure regret?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the Man with the Golden Gun, Garrett, to your point of saying, I could see Wynn and Kidd being villains and being good villains and entertaining in a different movie. Like Nick Nack is cheesy as shit, but he works in that movie.
Mr. Scaramanga. He gets fucked up in that movie, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, he does.
Fuck.
They all get fucked up.
I will say one thing I'll give to Diamonds Are Forever over Man with the Golden Gun is a better theme song.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Fucking Lulu? Yeah. Everybody does better than Lulu.
Yeah.
Everybody. Even Jack White and Alicia Keys.
Man's a sand of moves.
Oh God!
No. Remember the end of that song where they stop having words and they're just going la 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 la, da 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 la 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 la. It's like out of tune.
Yeah. God damn, we have to get there.
I still would watch that movie over Diamonds Are Forever.
I would watch Quantum of Solace over Diamonds Are Forever.
Again, I am definitely in the minority, but I don't think Quantum of Solace is a terrible movie.
I think here's a question. Ooh. Would I rather watch Die Another Day or Diamonds Are Forever? That's tough.
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day.
It's more entertaining.
Denise Richards.
That's World Is Not Enough.
Or the Halle Berry. Never mind. I'm thinking The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah. Still.
But Die Another Day is
for the win.
Yeah. Die Another Day is entertainingly bad, and you do get diamonds in someone's face.
Yes.
And you get
Space Laser.
Surfboard Man. Although you do get Analyze This. Analyze this. Oh, God, that theme song.
Oh, we can't.
Dun, 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 dun. And she's like a British fencer, right?
Yeah. Named Charity or Verity? Verity. Yeah, because it's even dumber.
Get out of here, Madonna.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Madonna.
Yeah, go back to a league of their own.
Why couldn't she have done like an 80s Bond theme?
Yeah, when she was at the peak of her powers.
Or early 90s, like Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Breathless Mahoney.
Yeah.
The blank.
Vita.
Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine.
Oh, that's a fucking...
No. It's either that or, More?
More!
Yeah.
More!
Al Pacino was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as Big Boy fucking Caprice in Dick Tracy.
To his credit, he reinvented the character. He basically was like, I'm taking everything about this, making it my own. Fuck you.
Hoo-ha!
Fuck you and your old Big Boy Caprice. Look at my face. That's the guy that goes out hard.
Really good Pacino.
Years of watching Dick Tracy. Everybody does Scent of a Woman Al Pacino. I do Big Boy Caprice Al Pacino. That's the key. You don't do... Everyone does, fucking... I'll take a flamethrower to this place. No, you got to do...
with a big ass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, or Heat. Yeah, Heat Pacino.
Heat fucking Pacino?
Yeah. Brother, I'll put you down. But the Primo Pacino... Great, is confident. Cruising used to be on Netflix. Primo Pacino is Big Boy Caprice because I'm trying to think what's the great line from what do you say? Mind if I call you Dick? And I remember as a kid I was like, oh shit!
30 seconds, no more.
30
dick.
seconds, no more Dick. And then he throws the money in Big Boy's face. He's like, you stupid Dick, you stupid Dick. And I'm like, I get it because he's calling him a dick. Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather watch Dick Tracy than Diamonds Are Forever.
Dick Tracy, man. Also, Warren Beatty, let someone else make a Dick Tracy movie for Christ's sake.
He still technically has the rights, and he still wants to make, but he had to make that Howard Hughes movie.
Yeah. There was one Napoleon, one George Washington, one me. I want Dick Tracy dead. Did you bums forget how to kill people?
Eat lead, Tracy.
Oh, eat lead, Tracy was like my mantra in when I was 5. I'd be in the playground. Eat lead, Tracy. Who's Dick Tracy?
You were Dick Tracy for Halloween?
I was Dick Tracy. I was Dick Tracy for Halloween, and people would open doors to it, and they'd see my brother was Batman or whatever, and they'd be like, a grown adult man in his 40s is like, are you fucking Dick Tracy? I was like an 8-year-old, and my brother was 5, and he's like, why are you Dick Tracy? My grandfather likes Dick Tracy, and he's dead. And I would go, eat lead, Tracy.
That's half the reason why you have an Apple Watch.
Oh, that's not half. I spent hundreds of dollars so I could speak a text message into my phone and feel like it's a wrist radio. That's it. I don't care about my Fitbit steps. I don't care about if I can see the weather or get an email from work. I care that I can pretend like it's a wrist radio from Dick Tracy. That's it. Sole reason. What do you guys think about Dick Tracy?
I don't think I've seen that movie in 20 years.
It ages somewhat well. there's some parts that are like, For me, it's not like The Rocketeer. The Rocketeer is a masterpiece. So, it's in between The Rocketeer and like The Spirit. I hate this. Not The Spirit. Oh, I do hate The Spirit.
Phantom.
Shadow. The Phantoms. I enjoy the hell out of the Phantom for the most part. We're talking about the '90s pulp renaissance that never truly took
never
off.
renaissanced.
Well, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna happen. Pulp Hero. I've been saying this since the first podcast we ever did. Pulp Hero is going to come back in a big bad way.
They tried with Green Hornet and Lone Ranger.
They're trying again with Green Hornet, which is fucking awesome. I was surprised. And Lone Ranger, you know, they got to try again because he's great. But Pulp Heroes will they'll have their day. Someday. And Al Pacino will return as Big Boy Caprice.
Oh shit! I would watch it. I would watch it 10 times probably. Yeah, you guys got any closing thoughts on Diamonds Are Forever? Because I'm pretty sure we've
exhausted it.
We've aired our grievances.
Yeah.
I say like the most telling thing is that we spent like 10 minutes of a podcast notionally about Diamonds Are Forever talking about Dick Tracy. Like,
yeah, that's
this movie in a nutshell.
To be fair, that almost happens every podcast. I have to fight it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in this one, like,
no,
you start going off on a tangent, and, like, you've got no desire to rein yourself in, and we've got no desire to rein you in, because if we did, that means we'd have to talk about this abomination.
I appreciate letting my Pacino flag fly.
Much like when I would change the channel on a commercial when Diamonds Are Forever was on TV and never change back.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of representative of this podcast.
Yes.
But hey, we got Roger Moore next week, or next time.
Hell yeah.
Hey. So yeah, we're now in 70s era Bond. We are out of his initial cinematic decade. We are now in decade 2 with a not as auspicious film. But hey, I would rather watch Live and Let Die, which is cool because Live and Let Die is next.
Yeah.
So that's
James
something.
Bond will return and Live and Let Die.
Yes, thank Christ. So, on that note, this has been another episode of From Geek Out with Love. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
I'm Rich.
I'm Garrett.
Goodbye, James Bond.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.